Tired of being used, Chloe trades her luxurious life for a humble disguise. Will anyone see the treasure in her heart instead of the emptiness in her wallet? Let's find out in the story. Once upon a time, in a big bustling city, there lived a beautiful young lady named Chloe. Chloe was the daughter of a billionaire, Mr. Daniels, who owned one of the largest companies in the country. Because of her father's wealth, Chloe lived in luxury. She drove expensive cars, wore designer clothes, and could buy anything she wanted. But Chloe had a problem. Every guy she met wanted her only for her money. They would act nice to her, take her on dates, and pretend to love her. Once, Chloe spent a lot of money on them, buying gifts, paying for vacations, and even helping them start businesses. They would dump her and leave without even saying goodbye. Chloe was heartbroken many times. She started feeling like no one truly loved her for who she was. She wanted someone who would love her even if she had nothing. One day, Chloe made a bold decision. She packed her a few simple clothes, left her expensive jewelries behind, and moved to a small town far away. She told no one she was the daughter of a billionaire. She rented a tiny apartment and got a job as a waitress at a small cafe. She dressed simple, wore no makeup, and acted like an ordinary girl. In the new town, people treated Chloe differently. No one paid much attention to her. Some of the young men in the town even laughed at her because they thought she was too poor to date. Chloe didn't mind. She was determined to find someone who loved her for her heart, not her money. One day, while working at the cafe, Chloe met a man named David. David was kind, hardworking, and humble. He was a mechanic who fixed cars for a living. Unlike the men Chloe knew in the city, David didn't care about expensive things. He loved simple things like watching sunset and spending time with family. David and Chloe became friends. They would talk for hours, laughing and sharing their dreams. Chloe felt happy and free with David, but there was one problem. David didn't seem interested in dating her. He once said, "Chloe, you are a nice girl, but I can't be with someone who doesn't have much. I want a woman who can build a future with me." Chloe smiled and didn't argue. She thought, if David can love me like this, then he's not the one. The regretful. Meanwhile, back in the city, the men who had used Chloe started to regret their decision. One of them, Tom, had started a business with Chloe's money, but it failed. He missed her kind and generosity. Chloe was. Another Mark had left Chloe for another woman, but their relationship didn't work out. Both men wished they hadn't treated her so badly. When they tried to reach out to Chloe, they discovered she had disappeared. They couldn't find her anywhere, and it made them feel even worse. Back in the small town, Chloe continued to live her simple life. One evening, David saw her helping an elderly woman who had dropped her groceries. He realized how kind and generous Chloe was. Slowly, he started to see her in a different light. One day, David invited Chloe to a park. As they sat on a bench, he said, "Chloe, I've been thinking, I don't care if you are poor. You are the kindest person I've ever met, and I want to be with you." Chloe smiled but didn't say anything. She wanted to be sure David truly loved her. A few weeks later, Chloe got a call from her father. He missed her and wanted her to come home. Chloe decided it was time to reveal the truth. She invited David to her small apartment and said, "David, I need to tell you something. I am not who you think I am. My father is a billionaire and I've been pretending to be poor to find true love." David was shocked. "You are a billionaire's daughter?" "Yes," Chloe replied, "but I wanted to see if someone could love me for who I am, not for my money." David was quiet for a moment, then said, "Chloe, I fell in love with your heart, not your money. It doesn't matter to me who your father is." Chloe knew then that David was the one. Chloe returned to the city with David. Her father was happy to meet the man who loved his daughter for who she was. Chloe and David got married in a beautiful ceremony, and she never had to worry about fake love again. As for the men who had used Chloe, they were filled with regret when they heard about her wedding. They realized they had lost someone special and wished they could turn back time. But Chloe didn't care about them anymore. She had found her true love, and that was all that mattered. From then on, Chloe and David lived a happy life together, providing that proving that true love is worth the wait. After the wedding, Chloe and David moved into a beautiful home provided by Chloe's father. However, Chloe insisted on keeping these things simple. She didn't want their marriage to be all about wealth. Chloe still volunteered at local shelter and helped those in need, just as she had during her time in the small town. David also continued working as a mechanic, though Mr. Daniels offered him a high position in his company. David kindly declined, saying, "Thank you, sir, but I want to build my own success. I don't want to rely on Chloe's wealth." Mr. Daniels admires David's humility and determination. He respected him even more, knowing his daughter has chosen a man of great character. Chloe's experience of pretending to be poor changed her. She became more compassionate and wiser. She opened a foundation to help young women who were going through tough times, teaching them how to stand strong and not rely on anyone else to define their worth. David supported Chloe in every way, though he had never been rich. He shared her vision of giving back to the community. They worked together to create programs to help struggling families and small business owners. Meanwhile, the men who had used Chloe were struggling. Tom, who had wasted the money Chloe gave him, tried to rebuild his business but couldn't. He reached out to her on social media, hoping to reconnect. Chloe ignored him. She had moved on, and so had her heart. Mark, the man who left Chloe for another woman, also tried to reach her. He sent her flowers and letters apologizing for his past mistakes, but Chloe wasn't interested. She realized that these men only wanted her back because they had nothing. They didn't care about her as a person. Whenever they saw pictures of Chloe and David in magazines or on the internet, they were filled with envy and regret. They wished they could have treated her better when they had the chance. Chloe and David's love grew stronger every day. They faced challenges together but always supported each other. David eventually opened his own garage, which became very successful because of his skills and honesty. Chloe was proud of him, and he was proud of her for staying true to herself despite the challenges she had faced. One evening, as they sat on their porch watching the sunset, David turned to Chloe and said, "Thank you for choosing me. I may not be rich, but I will always make sure you are happy." Chloe smiled and replied, "You have given me something money could never buy, true love." Chloe's story became an inspiration to many people. It showed that love isn't about wealth, status, or material things. True love comes from the heart, and it can't be bought or fake. The men who had used Chloe were left with nothing but regret, while Chloe and David built a life filled with love, trust, and kindness. And so, Chloe finally found the happiness she had been searching for all along.